Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan the Radio Man. It's been a while, over a week almost. However, I've been doing other podcasts on the videos, but this is something that brings us right back to my favorite medium, and that is, since I do have a face made for radio, I get to be just on the audio. And you get to imagine what I look like. And hopefully your imagination will be better than the reality. So thank you for listening. Yes, that is the title. That's right. There's nothing more exhilarating than to be shot at and missed. And of course, that brings us to the subject of just what has happened. The assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And there are going to be some things that we can learn about, maybe think about. We're not here to do politics. We're not here to do any of that advocacy, but we're here to see if we can better figure out reality. Better figure out reality. And so I will subtitle it by saying the reality is that probably in the end, Donald Trump will be a winner. Now, I didn't say he'd win the election, but he'll probably be a winner. Well, that's what we're going to think about. We're going to do this in less than 20 minutes, perhaps much less. We'll see where it goes. I'm Stan the Radio Man. These are interesting ideas brought to you by the What It Takes Radio Company, and the program begins right now. I don't know where the quote came from. Now, I think it was a Churchill quote, Winston Churchill, who had some action, I believe, in the South African situation in the so-called Boer War. Now, that's the kind of the recollection from my history teaching days, but that was many years ago. But obviously, the statement is a good one. There's nothing more exhilarating than to be shot at and missed. I've never had that experience. Maybe somebody like you, maybe you actually have. You know, you were involved in combat. Maybe you were involved in law enforcement, or something happened that a shot was taken at you and it didn't hit you. Well, of course, Donald Trump had that happen. Less than 72 hours. That's kind of breaking my rule, because I usually say don't say anything for 72 hours, but I'll be close to 72. And obviously, they missed, but just barely missed. And the bullet did hit him, and it could have been very easily fatal, and all of those details are now known by everybody, that perhaps within a millimeter or a split second, the bullet would have gone into a much more significant part of the brain rather than taking a piece of his ear, and that would have been the end. That would have been a true assassination murder. And he's still alive and doing well. So that's probably where the quote came. Now, I did have one scary incident, and I remember this because it was a bit scary. Many years ago, when I was working training, I wasn't working with them, I was being trained by them, the BBC in London, and that was during what was called the time of troubles in Northern Ireland, where literally there were murders and assassinations and demonstrations that were, people were dying. Between the two elements, the Irish Republican Army and the government of Northern Ireland, very much supported by the government of the United Kingdom in Britain. And it was, they had us after one of the sessions we had, and I was there for about 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 weeks. It was quite intense, and they told us that we were going to go to Northern Ireland and learn about what it was like to be at the BBC in Ireland, and met all those people and had a wonderful time. In many cases, it was very The Irish know how to party, and boy, there was a lot of partying that went on that week. But I remember I got up on a Sunday morning and I decided it was a nice day, so I decided to go for a walk. And we were headquartered, we were kind of in a university dormitory. That's where we were at. So I got up early and I decided to go for a walk. And I was walking down the road, and all of a sudden, coming up was a armored vehicle. And those were quite common. They were just, not just a patrol car, a police car patrolling, but a armored vehicle was coming up the road, and I was the only one really there. And obviously, it looked like the young soldier was there with rifle, and he wasn't taking any chances. He actually, I saw him as I was walking, he drew a bead right on me, ready to pull the trigger if I would start to do something. And I tried to avoid looking at him. I just kept walking straight, didn't make any strong move, just walked away. And finally he passed, and he obviously took the bead off of me. That was a little bit scary. But that's as close as I have come to having someone shoot at me and miss. So this is about 5 minutes in this story. I hope you're still okay with it. But here we go. That can change everything, And there is some indication that Donald Trump is thinking very deeply. Supposedly, he said because of what happened and his good fortune and his good luck that he should be dead. He should be dead, that he's going to change and he's going to have a different kind of message going forward. And those of us who saw him on Monday night as he came into the convention, there seemed to be, a kind of a somberness about him. Perhaps something incredibly transformational happened as a result of knowing that, hey, I'm lucky to be alive. Now, in terms of my situation, I also have a sense of that because I'm a survivor of cancer, and they got it just in time. And if it had been discovered probably a month or 2 or 3 months later than when we did, it might have taken me out. I mean, I'm quite aware of that. I also know that one of my heroes, Earl Nightingale. Now I'm dating me, but back in the, in my younger days, I became a fan of a broadcaster because I've loved broadcasting radio all my life. I really have. And Earl Nightingale was a motivational speaker and a broadcaster, and he had a program called Our Changing World, and it was an incredible program of talks and thoughts and motivation and inspiration. He had an incredibly deep, wonderful, resonant radio voice. I mean, it was pretty good. There was a joke that his smoking 2 packs of Camels every day probably contributed to that, and maybe to even shortening his life, but he had the voice, for sure. And he tells the story a few times, but it became part of his legend that he actually, as a young man, 17 years of age, had left school and joined the Marines, and he was one of the Marine guards. On a Navy ship, they oftentimes have shore patrol, but they may have Marines who are on the ship as kind of infantry guys, people with the rifles. He was on the USS Arizona on December 7th, 1941, and when the attack began, he got blown into the water just before the big bomb that hit, which took the ship down, and obviously thousands of soldiers, sailors, and Marines died on that ship that day. But then he said, because of that, he knew. He said, I should be dead. So I'm living in luck and grace, and whatever happens to me, it can't be as bad as what could have been. And so he became an entrepreneur. He did a variety of things. He took a lot of risks. He lost money on a number of ventures, but he made a lot of money on other ventures. And eventually he not only had the broadcast business, which was very profitable, but he had the company that put forth motivational tapes. Well, first records. That's right, the old record player, and then motivational tapes and CDs, and of course now through the online. The company's still going as one of the premier motivational companies. But he said, I always knew that nothing could happen to me that could come close to what might have happened to me. So what is there to be afraid of? What is there to be scared of? And he went on in that basis. Well, that has caused me to think a lot about that. And I wonder if that will very much affect, Donald Trump in some ways. I've been told that when people have a near-death experience, or they just realize that they're lucky to be alive, then oftentimes it kind of softens us, makes us a little less rambunctious, maybe a little more thoughtful, a little more grateful, a little quieter. We still might be bold and brave and strong, but we might lose a little bit of the bully factor in us, which we all have, if we can. Remember that. That's right. All of us have the bully within us, somewhere, someplace, sometime. We just may not quite have the power to express it, but all of us have a bit of a bully in us. Just note that. And maybe Trump has been a bit of a bully sometimes, as we all have been. But what might happen to him? Well, we will see, which is his favorite word. We will see. And it'll be interesting to see. However, he probably is going to land up a winner, no matter what. And I'll take the next 5 minutes to tell you why I say that. Yep, he will probably end up a winner anyhow. I'm Stan Houston. StanHouston@gmail.com. StanHouston@gmail.com. I want to help you be on the radio. I want to help you perform at your best. I want you to have a better and a gooder. I just aggravated my wife by saying that nothing word. A good life. Now, starting now. We'll be back.
He careth for you. He careth for you. When the worries and cares of your life seem to block out the rays of his light, never forget, never lose sight, for he careth for you, for he careth for you.
Well, here's the deal. Right now, Donald Trump is probably one of the best known persons in the whole world. One of the best. Didn't say he's the best person. I said he's one of the best known. Obviously, the polls predict that he may be on the path to becoming a president. And that's a very unusual thing, to become a president, then to lose the presidency and then gain it back. I think that's only happened one other time. Possibility. Teddy Roosevelt tried it, but it didn't work. That will be quite something if he pulls that off. But what if he doesn't? What if he loses? What if he loses the presidency? It's going to be close no matter what, but Who knows what's going to happen? And he's not the winner. Joe Biden is, or somebody else is. Okay, what does he do? Well, here's probably what will happen. Uh, his business now is thriving. The political trials that he's involved in, they're going to go away. I've been saying for some time he's not going to go to jail. And the way things are going, none of those legal actions against him are going to get him, and he's not going to land up in jail. What does he have? Well, he has a multi-billion-dollar business. He has a nice family. He has a loyal and attractive wife, and he's got lots of money, and he's got reasonably good health. I think he will still have millions and millions of people who believe in him, who will buy his stuff. He will be asked to speak. He will become a kind of a worldwide guru. Even if he's not the president, he will have actually more persuasive, certainly more financial power in many ways than whoever is the president. He obviously has a number of good things that are going to perhaps come into his life, even if he doesn't become the president. If he does become the president, there's a very, very good chance that he'll be quite successful at it. He will get a lot of things done. He doesn't have to worry about being reelected, so he'll make a lot of changes, and many of them will be very positive for many people. A lot of the things that aggravate people, like excessive government restrictions or things like that, telling us whether we should wear masks or whether we should buy electric automobiles, all of those things will perhaps be taken out. The price of gasoline will probably go down, and there will be those kind of easy things. He's too smart to do anything that would be radically stupid. That's just the deal. So no matter what, Donald Trump will probably, in some ways, live happily ever after, and make it well into his 80s. And someone has struck me by saying, and this was in relationship to the situation that Joe Biden is in, and I will be at a certain soon point. He said, what happens to a majority, at least close to a majority of men in their 80s? What happens to men in their 80s? Well, a lot of them die. That's right. And you know what? If all we get is 70, 70, as I often say, in imitation of a guy named George Will, he said, if you got the 10, you're playing on the house. It's all grace. It's all amazing. You've already lived a full and an opportunity-filled life. Good for you. Be well. Think about what the purpose of life is. Leave a good legacy and anticipate what might be. Yeah. Look in anticipation of what might be. I'm Stan Houston. Just some thoughts about what might be. And we will see. And we'll be right back. Thank you for your time. Indeed, thank you for your time. Again, less than 20 minutes. I'm grateful for your time and attention. I'm here because I love doing what I'm doing, and I love even more the opportunity to help you do better at what you're doing. How to be a world-class broadcaster, podcaster. I can help you do that. I'm really good at that. If you want to be a coach, a life or a business coach, primarily a business coach, the coaching experience, I and my team can help you be a world-class business coach. We can help you do that just for your own sake, maybe for making some income and influence and impact. We're in the business of helping you live a better life, do better business. We're also right now launching the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, in which you get to know better the man. And the man can not only give you some meaning in life, but he can also show you how to do life. Best and blessings to you. Take care. Bye for now.